Hi, my name's Nick Godfrey, and I work in the area of business succession and estate planning. And a number of years ago, I did a seminar called The Basics of Estate Planning, and inside that webinar was a piece called Wealth Replacement Insurance. So today, I just thought I would distill my big estate planning seminar and just show you a little bit about the wealth replacement insurance idea that we ran through there. So the idea is using life insurance to replace wealth. It's part of legacy giving. So let's explore this further. So today, what we're going to talk about is the idea of leaving a legacy. And then because leaving a large amount of money to a charitable organization can create issues within the estate, within the family, that using life insurance can be part of equalizing the estate. So you're giving some money away, but you're recreating it using insurance. So that's the premise behind what we're going to talk about now. So there are different types of appreciated capital. There are those who are very interested in the humanities, disease research, supporting religious entities or their community or hospitals. I happen to be a nature nut. So I really like supporting charitable organizations that preserve land, protect the environment, and do education so that people understand why it's important to protect the environment. So those are just my personal beliefs, but it doesn't matter. And who says you have to support just one charity anyway? Lots of people support several different organizations. So the types of gifts that people can make: capital gifts. You can make gifts of publicly traded shares and stock options. That's very common these days. Gifts of ecologically sensitive land. This is something that's close to my heart. Somebody might own a farm that's got a marsh on it that has some endangered species. They're able to make a gift of this ecologically sensitive land and preserve that forever. There's also the opportunity of selling or donating certified Canadian cultural property. So those are really the three big categories for making capital gifts. And what's nice about it is that the capital gains inclusion rate is reduced to zero for gifts to qualified charities of certain types of capital property. So that's great. So a capital gain is essentially you bought something at one value, it's now worth more. The difference between the two is the capital gain. Only half of it's taxable, but still there's a significant portion that would be wiped out for tax purposes if you made that capital gift to your favorite charity. So big gifts make for big tax savings. That's nice. Large tax credits for sizable donations of shares, stock options, and cultural property can be carried forward 5 years. So that's why the government likes you to make gifts during your lifetime. You've got a 5-year carry forward, whereas if you do it when you're dead through your estate, you can carry it back 2 years. It's also more fun to make a donation in your lifetime, and then you can see how your seed has grown into a big, beautiful flower. And for large gifts under the Ecological Gifts Program, the tax savings can be carried forward 10 years. So that's quite significant. So this is just an illustration of what happens when you make a capital gift that has a capital gain involved. You can see in the red, that's really where we want to dry your eyes, is that if you donate securities as is with a capital gain, it eliminates that tax, that capital gains tax. If you were to sell those securities, pay your tax, and then make a donation, it's not as good. So this slide will just let you know Tim Sesnick is a great tax expert, and he says today it makes more sense to donate securities that have appreciated in value than donating cash of an equivalent amount. He knows. So I see the problem with large gifts, and I'm just being funny, I suppose, but giving large gifts can result in unhappy beneficiaries. And then this is where the wealth replacement insurance strategy can work. It replaces the donated capital with tax-free dollars insurance proceeds. It's a strategy to encourage people to make gifts during their lifetime. So let's just kind of go through the graph here and just show you how it works. So the donor makes a large donation. They get a tax receipt. Rather than taking that tax money and putting it in their pocket, they redirect it over into a life insurance policy, and then that money will grow and be paid out to the beneficiaries tax-free. So they're able to make a big gift of a capital gift over here and then recreated it with tax-free dollars life insurance proceeds. So here's an actual example. So Bob and Mary are age 70. They make a donation of $100,000. I'm just using round numbers here. You obviously would need to consult your tax advisor. I'm not an accountant. I know the numbers in general. But let's say it resulted in a $50,000 tax savings. They then take this money, and I just use 7 sevens or 49. So 7 years, $7,000. That's $49,000. They put it in the life insurance company, and when they turn 90 in 20 years, upon the second death of either Bob or Mary, then $130,000 gets paid out. So they put their $50,000 into the tax savings, but it recreated $130,000, which is pretty good. Gave away 100, recreated 130. Everybody's happy in theory. So why should you think about this? Estate planning is complicated. We're Canadians. We don't really like to talk about these sorts of things. It's the old joke about sitting around the dinner table at Thanksgiving or a high holiday. Okay, now that I have you all together, it's time to talk about the will. We don't like to talk about those sorts of things, but we should. And you need to obtain independent advice. Make sure that your will and your powers of attorney are up to date. Make a plan. Consult your advisors. Include your family and your favorite charity. And then communicate. Communicate your plan to your family. And then they will understand what your wishes are. They will be on side, less grief. Support your charity, support your family. It'll all work. Thanks very much for your time today. If you have any questions, my number's there, and you can give me a call, send me an email. Thank you. Bye.